Friday, December 27th, and this is Friday 5 at 5, the Denver Public Library. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Tina.
And we're both librarians at DPL's Central Library. And in 15 minutes or less, we will have you up to speed on 5 new titles out this month that we can't wait for you to read or listen to. Please note that new titles may not be added to Overdrive until after publication date. So if you don't see the titles in ebook or e-audio format yet, please check back.
We are very excited to announce the date for our upcoming Battle of the Books, which will be hosted at Raíces Brewing on January 16th. Come celebrate Winter of Reading and watch our panel of guests as they battle to advocate for their favorite book to win.
Winter of Reading is coming. Take part in our adult reading challenge to find your next favorite book, explore the library's offerings, and connect with other readers around Denver. Pick up a game board at any library location or download an accessible PDF version on our website. Complete 5 activities in a row, then trade in your game board for a limited edition mug or tote bag. Winter of Reading runs all of January and February. It's available in English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Arabic. It's open to anyone 17 or older, and prizes are available while supplies last. Find out more at Denver's website.
In this non-linear science fiction read, we are taken to a not-so-distant future in rural Appalachia, where androids are used for labor and combating forces are vying for control. In 3 interlocking stories, we see the world from the perspective of the humans who give the androids meaning. We have a pair of farmers who hire androids after their crops become too toxic to safely work in. We have a revolutionary, Whitaker, who targets and destroys android factories, even if it means killing the humans who work inside there. He is now recruiting children into his militia. 2 agents, once a part of Whitaker's militia as children, are now tasked with putting an end to his efforts. Things get complicated when an android protecting Trey, one of the agents, kills a human child during a raid on Whitaker's base. These stories explore humans' complicated relationship with technology and what are current fears of what the future could hold. And the titles for this book are Mal Goes to War by Edward Ashton. In the future, there is a war between the enhanced AI Federalist forces and purist humanists. Mal doesn't really care about the war, though. All he cares about is scavenging for unexpected treasure in what remains. Mal is an AI conscience and is searching through the cloud of remains when the humanists cut access, suddenly trapping Mal into the body of a cyborg mercenary. Now, for the first time, Mal will have to learn to care if they hope to stay alive. We also have Failure to Comply by Kavar. In a dystopian future where diseases and physical imperfections have been eradicated, a nameless deviant self-hacker, is on the run from the authoritarian government because of their 2 stomachs and 3 arms, which doesn't fit the government's perfect standards. When AI is kidnapped and their memories are taken, they must escape and recover their stolen memories, working to recapture their story before it's all gone.
Next up, we have Imposter Syndrome by Joseph Knox. In this book, we meet Lynch, a con man hiding in London. He serendipitously meets a woman named Bobby Pierce, who claims that Lynch looks a lot like her missing brother Hayden. Lynch decides to go to the Pierce family home and pose as that brother to try and con some money from the family, but he fails. He strikes a deal with the family that he will use his con artist skills to find out what really happened to Hayden. He's soon in deeper than he thought, and he's dealing with some really dangerous people. Who can he trust? Knox's intricately plotted thriller is full of gritty writing and is perfect for those that love writers like Lee Child. Read-alikes for that title are Cold to the Touch by Harry Hakoda. When the body of a college student is found near Anchorage, Alaska, homicide detective de Havilland Beans is put on the case. Beans knew the student and had talked to her often at his local coffee shop. Before the coroner can finalize the details on the first murder, another body is found, and it's suspected that there's a serial killer. The FBI sends an agent to help Beans, and the hunt begins. This is a fun, fast-paced, and suspenseful police procedural thriller. We also have Northwoods by Amy Pease. Eli North, a military veteran, is working at a local sheriff's department after his career and marriage fell apart, and he's drinking the nights away. The body of a teenage boy is found, and the investigation leads Eli to a wealthy enclave with a violent past. Soon, Eli is on the hunt for more than just a killer. He's quickly wrapped up in small town secrets and hoping that solving this case will bring back some of his lost confidence. Can he find the answers, or will these secrets destroy the town? This book has been described as rural noir and has great authentic
Mr.
characters.
Snake is the modern retelling of the ancient Chinese legend of the white snake, in which two snakes, a crate and a viper, make a pact to become sisters forever. The crate yearned to become human, so the viper, though happy in her own skin, agreed to transform too. Now, more than 1,000 years later, and the two sisters couldn't be farther apart. Sue is the perfect picture wife to a politician in Singapore, while Emerald is a queer sugar baby in New York. When Emerald experiences a violent attack in Central Park, Sue flies to New York to be by her side, and the long separated sisters are reunited. However, Sue, fearing the consequences of New York's wild behavior, persuades her to return with her to Singapore. Sue is terrified that Emerald's unpredictable nature could expose their shared secret and ruin both of their lives, while Emerald is left to wonder whether she will ever get out from under her sister's expectations. Our read-alikes for this title include The Witches of El Paso by Luis Jaramillo. Marta is an overworked attorney and mother who has been recently tasked with taking care of her great aunt Nena in present-day El Paso. When Nena burns a mysterious hole in her kitchen, Marta wonders if it's finally time to put Nena in a home. No, Nena insists she will never be put in a home again. What is Nena talking about, Martha wonders. It is only through Nena's storyline, beginning in 1943 El Paso, Texas, and traversing borders of time and space to colonial Mexico in 1792, that we learn of Nena's magical witchy youth, as well as the people she has left behind. We also have Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. In this fantasy novel, two sisters come back together after years apart to protect their family's library of magical books and uncover the secrets that have led to the deaths in their family members, but most importantly, get to the bottom of what broke them apart.
Next up, we have The World with Its Mouth Open by Zahid Rafiq. Here we have a debut book of short stories that follows the lives of people in Kashmir, a region of land between India and Pakistan. From a mother to a shopkeeper to a couple of dogs, we follow 11 stories of those that are wandering, torn apart by war and grief, violence and injustice. Though this collection can be heartbreaking, it is also full of life and the ways we look for beauty and humanity even in difficult times. It's an unputdownable collection. Read-alikes for this title are The Best You Can Do by Amina Gautier. This collection of short stories from Gautier explores cultural confusion and what it feels like to grow up with multiple cultural identities. From a 14-year-old who visits Puerto Rico to meet her extended family for the first time, to dealing with extreme violence during the civil rights movement and today, the sharp writing and relatable dialogue allows readers to see themselves in these stories. Messy feelings, broken families, and a lot of angst make this book a standout for those who love short story collections. We also have Ghost Roots by Pemi Aguda. This set of stories is set in Lagos, Nigeria, and features characters that are dealing with the haunting feelings of regret while living in everyday moments, like a child's birth or a trip to the market. It's a thought-provoking collection that sheds light on Nigerian myth and modern society with a great blend of humor and empathy.
After making its debut across the pond, we finally have received The Turnglass by Gareth Rubin. This is a two-part novel where you can start from the beginning or the end. The first novella takes place in 1880s England, where Parson Hoss is dying at Turnglass House. He is convinced that Florence, the woman jailed in a glass apartment inside his library, is to blame. She killed Oliver's brothers in a fit of rage. Who's to say she wouldn't do the same to her jailer? The second novella takes place in 1930s California, where another person is dying at Turnglass House, this time celebrated author Oliver Took. Everyone believes it was an act of suicide, except for his friend Ken. As Ken works to unfold the mystery of his friend's death, he discovers the stranger tale of his past, the disappearance of his younger brother, and his mom Florence, who was blamed for all of it. For our read-alikes for this title, we have Gallows Court by Martin Edwards. Rachel Saversnake is no ordinary woman. Much to the embarrassment of Scotland Yard, she solved the Chorus Girl murder, and now she's set on catching another killer. Jacob Flint, a young newspaper man, is looking for the scoop that will make his career relevant, and he's certain that there's more to Miss Saversnake than meets the eye. His pursuit of Rachel will draw him ever deeper into a labyrinth of deception and corruption. Murder by murder, he'll be swept ever closer to its dark heart, to where it all began and where it will finally end, Gallows Court. We also have The Good Liars by Anita Frank. In the summer of 1916, a boy's disappearance is eclipsed by the First World War. Years later, and the police have received a new testimony claiming that the boy was last seen at the home of the Stillwells of Darkacre Hall. A family once revered, the Stillwells were left in shambles after the war, and now the events of that summer are threatening to derail their lives once again.
In case you missed it. Our In Case You Missed It book this month is Not the End of the World by Hannah Ritchie. This book is one that will help combat the doom and gloom that comes with talks of climate change. Through a lot of research and expertise, Ritchie, a firm believer in climate change herself, uses data and statistics to show a pattern of steady improvement in the world, from infant mortality to air pollution. She helps readers see that big issues have been addressed through technological advances and government action, like the ozone layer. She calls us to action to see further results for future generations in this radically hopeful book. Our read-alikes for that title are Lessons from the Climate Anxiety Counseling Booth by Kate Shapira. From the founder of the Climate Anxiety Counseling Booth, a peanut-style booth to talk about climate change concerns, here is an easy guide that helps you deal with your climate anxiety. It gives practical strategies and actions at the personal level all the way up to the structural level. It tackles the subject with empathy and aims to help readers find a sense of purpose and a community to help build a better, more sustainable future. We also have The Weight of Nature by Clayton Aldern. Aldern, a neuroscientist and journalist, looks at the effects of climate change on our brains in this book that came out earlier this year. As it turns out, climate change is affecting the landscape of our brains, from increased stress and anxiety to changes in our decision-making abilities. He shares his research on how the loss of seasons is causing psychological changes in our bodies. This book is a well-structured, highly researched, and yet still accessible to the everyday reader. It's an important read about how the changing environment is changing us today from the inside out.
That's all for this month. Thank you for tuning in to Denver Public Library's Friday 5 at 5. We hope you enjoy these great reads and listens. Check out or place a hold on these items and a whole lot more at our website, denverlibrary.org, linked below. Tune in next month for new recommended reads. And as always, remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Bye!